think this is going to be the year that I overcome X. So a fear that you've been wanting to really tackle. Neil, you've done this. There was a fear you had, was it swimming?
Yes.
What did you do to overcome it?
Well, we talked about creating space, and when you do that in your life, you actually end up bumping into these fears. The marathon you want to run, or the book you want to write. For me, for 30 plus years, I was afraid of the water. I had ear infections my whole childhood, so it was something that held me back. And it's because I put this model in front of myself. I thought you have to have the motivation, and then you have the action. That's how we think about it. The right shoes to run a marathon, the perfect moleskin and coffee shop to write a novel. And that prevented me from swimming for years. But then I went on a date with a woman named Leslie, who became my wife, so this is a hint, the foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And she says at the dinner, I love swimming. It's my favorite thing to do in the world. Oh. Yeah, that was the smile I made, exactly that. Yeah, I know, I took a sip of water. And that night after the date, I didn't tell her I couldn't swim. I just like click, 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 signed up for adult learn to swim classes at the downtown city of Toronto pool, which if you've seen the pool, risky for several reasons, right? But you know, I just did it. I just did it without thinking about it. And I got out there with my life jacket, my goggles, and they said, get into the shallow water, here's a flutter board. Yeah. And they blew the whistle and they're like, you're done. I was like, that's it? I did it the next week. They're like, do the same thing, inch toward the deep end a little bit. Right. I was like, that's it? I can do this. This is easy. I put action first and the motivation came later.
Wait, wasn't the motivation first though? Because wasn't it Leslie?
No, you see, I didn't think about it. I didn't even own a bathing suit. I just signed up. And if you just take your head, what you're saying. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is it's easier to act yourself into a new way of thinking than to try and think yourself into a new way of acting. Right. Our brains are our own worst enemies. And if you think about it long enough, you'll never do it. You have to provoke the action first and then create the motivation. Then I learned how to swim in just a few weeks, and that is how I conquered a fear. But placing action first is really the secret. Okay, so you're good now. Well, on that, but there's a lot of other things I can still get better on. And by the way, you don't want to see me swim. It's not a very pretty swimming. But you're in the water. Stay afloat. I stay afloat. Very nice. Yes. Okay, Mairlyn, fears that you've overcome.
Well, you know, I've been married 3 times, so I'm not afraid of that anymore. But
really good at it.
Really good at it. But I was terrified. I'm not terrified of heights. I'm terrified of falling off a height. Right. You know, so like I can look, but to go look down over is terrifying. So BT said, "Do you want to do the edge walk?" And I said yes. And I just said yes. I just did it, and I was terrified. But as I was hanging over the edge, I went, you know what? This isn't so horrible. I did it, and it made me want to like jump out of an airplane now because I just said yes. And you know, Second City, the mode is yes and so that was yes and let's do it. And it was exciting and exhilarating, and I was so proud of myself. You know, it was like. Perfect. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm horrified by that story.
You're thinking about it too much.
I was like,
You're thinking about it too much.
I'm horrified.
It was the married part or the over the edge part?
No, the over the edge.
No one's fallen off yet.
Oh my gosh.
Well, knock on wood. But you know, you're harnessed. I mean, they don't just go, hey, go out there. You know, but it was terrifying and exhilarating.
Okay. Yes. All right. How about you, Mr. Celery?
Dating. Terrible dater. Parents were divorced. Terrible dater. Closeted kid in London, Ontario. Can't date. You don't have the teenage dating experience when you're in the closet. You have to have it in your 20s. Right. So I finally got out there. Yeah. And we've been together for 17 years. So we put that as a success.
Your date worked.
And now I don't have to date anymore.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Never getting divorced. I'm never getting divorced. Never. It's my first relationship.
Yeah. You and Dennis forever.
That's it. Lock it.
We have like what, 10 seconds?
That's okay. Not being perfect, being judged.
Yes.
And then you realize everyone's circling around their own bubble of judgment. Yes. And what someone says about you is really none of your business.
It really is not.
Shine your light because you're more than enough.
I like going out on that.